Hi everyone, I'm with Gav and we're going to be discussing the UK snow potential with particular emphasis on tomorrow. Did you want to do any intros, Gav?
Yeah, good evening, Quantum. Good evening, everybody. So it's really cold out there this afternoon. I've just been out and it's already freezing, I think, here. So it's gone really cold. And we've got this big snow event coming up tonight and tomorrow for some parts of the country. It might be the most significant snow event for nearly 5 years. So really significant snow for some places. And we're going to see where the greatest chance of getting some big snowfalls are for tonight's live event.
And so we're going to be doing this live event for the next 90 minutes, and over that course we will be taking questions and answers, and we will be focusing mostly on the snow potential tomorrow and possibly the rest of the week as well. So that's where the focus is going to be. To start off with, actually, what I thought I'd do is maybe just give a quick overview. This is the French model, the arpège, and it's quite a good sort of giving a rough indication of what's happening. So I'll put it on this so we can actually see all the parameters. So this is 1 hour ahead, so that actually means 6 o'clock. So you can see that by midnight we've got this front moving into the cold air, and you can see it's starting to turn to snow on its northern edge, north of Wales, parts of Ireland as well, and then sort of by kind of 8 o'clock in the morning, got this big area of snow in the Midlands, both the North Midlands and the South Midlands, possibly even the London area as well. And yeah, so there's likely to be a significant period of snow tomorrow morning, and then you can see that the snow sort of gradually dies out towards the east. So I guess the focus is going to be asking exactly who is going to get the snow and maybe how much snow that we're going to get.
That's right. It looks very significant for Wales and the Midlands, doesn't it? But I think it's being trended southwards a little bit today. Yesterday, I'm not sure the models were having that quite as far south. So I think they have been moved south a little bit today.
I mean, when I first saw the Met Office warnings, I was slightly skeptical because they were to the north of Newcastle. One thing that you learn about these events is that they always do tend to trend a bit further towards the south and the west over time. So what we've seen is that initially the Met Office warning, which reflected the model output, was sort of for sort of most of northern England and only the North Midlands, whereas now I think most parts of northern England won't even see any snow at all. Maybe Lincolnshire, possibly South Yorkshire. Yeah, the northern extent of this is actually quite uncertain, even now. But I think it's unlikely that northern England is going to get any snow. So this thing has definitely trended south over time.
That's right. Lancashire to Yorkshire looks to be the northern extent, or it did this morning. But I think even from there, it might have been trended southwards a little bit more actually this evening.
The 12Z on the Euro 4 model is actually slightly further north.
Oh right, I haven't seen any.
It's very slightly further north, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. I'd be surprised I'd definitely be surprised if the northern extent of this is much further north than say York, somewhere like that. I think maybe Leeds might see a couple of snowflakes, that sort of area. But the northern extent is going to be one of the headaches that we're going to have to deal with over the course of the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. It just generally to say southern parts of northern England will be at the greatest risk, and the north of northern England probably will miss out, unfortunately. And Northern Ireland, because I think Northern Ireland was forecast to get this as well.
It doesn't look like it's going to get that far north now.
Get to Northern Ireland now either.
So regarding the northern extent, one thing that we can actually do, and I'm hoping this is, we could do it with the ECM, but the ECM actually hasn't run yet, so we'll have to do it with GFS. We can look at the ensembles to see sort of a range of different scenarios. I'm hoping that the 12Z has actually run now. If it hasn't, we'll have to. Oh, it has run. That's good. So we can actually stick the precipitation on here, and then sort of move that ahead to, let's say, so this is sort of midday tomorrow, and you can see these are all the different scenarios that could happen with the precipitation. I'm just sort of trying to find the most. I mean, that one's slightly further north, I suppose. That one's further to the south, but there seems to be almost unanimous agreement now that the extreme southern part of northern England seems to be the northern edge. Maybe somewhere like, I mean, somewhere maybe like Selby, maybe, I don't know, Lincoln, maybe.
Yeah, it could get as
Leeds.
far as Lincolnshire and Leeds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe Leeds is probably one of those 50-50 whether or not they'll see anything. And even if they do see anything, it's not going to be heavy, I don't imagine.
No, I think that there's really significant stuff from this is through mid and North Wales and the Midlands and East Anglia as well, probably.
Another way you can visualize the northern edge using the ensembles, which is quite good, is if I put on the probability chart and then I stick, let's say, greater than 10. This is sort of this is accumulated, so the numbers don't actually matter that much. But the point is that where the blue is, this is sort of the ensembles kind of agreeing about where the northern edge is. So you can see that all the ensembles kind of put the northern edge sort of North Midlands, just sort of getting into Lincolnshire. If I put it include some slightly lighter stuff, you can see maybe into the far south of Yorkshire, and then if I include even lighter stuff, about as far north as we would expect it to get. I guess maybe York, but we're talking about flakes in the wind at that point. Maybe not even snow, maybe rain if it's pulling in air off the sea. So
that's right. And Northern Ireland also missing out, and
yeah, you can.
Scotland missing out as well, of course.
You can see Northern Ireland here, just to the south of the northern edge of it. Of course, the far north of Scotland is still blue. That's because they're likely to still see some showers, some of which will be of snow. So that's the northern edge pretty much sorted. And I think the other thing that people will want to know is the southern edge, which is not so much a boundary between precipitation and dryness, but more a case of where is it going to turn to snow.
That's right. There's a big warmer area that's going to be meaning that the far south and southwest will just get rain or sleet, I suppose, unfortunately for them.
Now, for this particular scenario, the model that I always rely on is the Arome. It's never failed in terms of precipitation type. There's a lot of other things wrong, and I think we discussed this during the last broadcast, but for precipitation, it's type, it's fantastic, particularly in terms of fronts, and we can actually see this going forward. So, okay, this is about 3 o'clock in the morning. You can see it sort of slowly starting to turn to snow. Extreme south of Wales, it's rain, but sort of Bristol seems to be snow in Bristol.
That's right.
Even in kind of North London, it seems to be snow.
But a little bit of snow there, yeah.
But snow in South London. So the northern half of London actually may see snow, whilst the southern half of London might see rain. Because
that's definitely the divide, isn't it? But somewhere around London.
You can see how sharp this dividing line is. There's not. I mean, yellow is that kind of those sort of half-frozen ice-type pellets that you sometimes get when it's not quite cold enough for snow. And if you look in Ireland, you can see there's a lot more of this sort of sleetiness. Whereas in England, there's this very sort of clean line between the rain to the south and the snow to the north.
That's right. There could be some quite significant snow for sort of the Midlands of Ireland as well, which is quite unusual, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it. Sort of this sort of area here. As we go forward, so let's go to around 9 o'clock in the morning. Actually, the interesting point is that for the extreme south of Wales, let's say Cardiff, even though it starts off as rain initially, the winds will become more northerly. So sort of by 10 o'clock in the morning, it's likely that there won't be much snow left in it, but it's likely that South Wales, any rain will turn back to snow. Like the whole of Wales potentially is likely to see some snow tomorrow.
It looks like it's going to go back to snow in the southwest. So it may even start off as snow in the south of Wales, and then heavy rain, and then through tomorrow afternoon back to snow in the south Wales, and of course central and mid Wales are likely to get very significant snow. I mean, I think the UK Met Office is talking about sort of villages being cut off and in their wardings and that sort of thing. That's really significant.
And I can see the London area here. the snow rain line is right over London. And is the Met Office forecasting snow for London tomorrow?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the very latest warnings this evening, but I don't think
this looks to me like North London could actually see some snow tomorrow. Not the southern part of London, which is more in the sort of sleet. I mean, it's more yellow, which is more about sleetiness. But it looks like North London could actually see some snow tomorrow, which is not. And you can see actually the rain sort of moves a little bit further north by sort of 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you can see that over the western parts we get the snow pushing back, whereas there's a bit more warm air coming sort of over. So London could see sort of a scenario where it rains initially, it then turns to snow, and then it turns back to rain. So I mean, actually, this could be quite bad. If I mean, I don't think the central capital I don't think right in the centre is going to be a problem. But for sort of further out, Chilterns, it could be quite bad there if there's a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow for much of the day in the London area.
That's right. I would imagine there could be some quite heavy snowfalls in the Chilterns due to the elevation, and anywhere north of that definitely looks like they're going to get snow.
And we can see that the snow does weaken, but it pushes a lot further south, and you can see London turns back to snow again. So London could potentially see a rain to snow event. You could see everything in London tomorrow.
The cold air is definitely digging southwards through the afternoon again, isn't it? Notice it also goes a little bit towards rain across eastern parts of East Anglia.
Yeah, this is not unanticipated actually, because we're starting to pull in an easterly wind, so it's pulling in air off the sea, so that's not too surprising. And I imagine if Northern England does get any snow, which that sort of thing will be expected to happen with sort of the eastern part of Lincolnshire, with the air being pulled off the sea. But yeah, there's and you can see actually it's moving back into Devon as well. So Devon actually could see some snow sort of tomorrow afternoon, even though it's going to rain initially there. We could see some snow appearing in Devon as well.
Definitely on the moors, it looks like there could be something wintry down there, doesn't it?
I mean, it looks like for the far east of Devon, we could even see snow to lower levels towards the afternoon. So I mean, actually, we've got the snow nearly on the south coast by the afternoon. The southern extent does actually seem to be further south than generally.
I think so. I think the southern extent is trending southwards.
And of course, over East Anglia, we've got this situation where it's turning back to rain again, because we're pulling in winds off the sea.
Right.
And actually, you can see that as this dissipates, it actually moves back. So you see, London, it's turned back to rain again, and then it turns back to snow again. I've completely lost count of how many different precipitation types are going to occur in London tomorrow. It's like
there's definitely a mix of air masses going on, isn't there? But for the southern part of the country, but for Wales and the Midlands, that milder sector never gets that far north. So there it just remains as snow until it just dies out and fizzles away.
Certainly, sort of, and I'll get my scribble map up. Certainly, sort of, if we're talking this kind of area, so I'd say sort of, probably actually up all the way up here actually, kind of maybe that sort of area. I imagine that kind of area there. It'll be snowing pretty much all day, and there won't be any rain at all.
I think so. Certainly until the sort of mid-afternoon, and then it'll probably just fizzle out.
Yeah, then they're going to peter out. But I think I mean, maybe particularly sort of heavy bursts of snow sort of around here as well, which is sort of maybe not being anticipated. And then of course over the hills of Wales. So this kind of area, maybe I would expect to see.
Well, that's exactly where I am, of course, in Northamptonshire.
But what I think also it could happen is that for this kind of area here, sort of, I guess, even kind of coming somewhere up here. This kind of area here, I'd expect to see a mixture of precipitation. So anywhere in this kind of red area here, I would expect that there will be some snow tomorrow, just not all snows, a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow for this area. But I expect pretty much everywhere in this area we'll see some snow tomorrow, even if it doesn't really accumulate.
I think so, especially in the afternoon and the evening.
Exactly. Actually, one thing we can do with the arome to give it a little bit more information is that we can accumulate the snow from 0 hours. Now, this shouldn't be interpreted as snow lying on the ground, because that depends also on the ground temperature, and this is just accumulation, so it doesn't count for melt. But what we can do is we can kind of see where the snow is falling. So you can see initially the snow is falling in the mostly in Wales and the Midlands. They've got particularly a lot of snow, but then there's also a little bit of snow that sort of comes into the south later. And you can see that London also sees a little bit of snow through the day, particularly the north part of London.
Definitely.
We can even take this one step further, and this is the total sort of precipitation. We can actually zoom in. So let's say this is up until about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So we can zoom right in, and we can see that the northern part of the capital, like Watford, Chigwell, and so on, sees snow throughout the day, whereas the southern part of the capital doesn't see much snow at all. So could be a dividing line there, which is interesting.
Right. And further north into the Chilterns, it looks like it's a bit more significant, doesn't it?
Yeah, this looks like. And you can see sort of the areas that are expected to by the arome to get the most. So we've got sort of Birmingham here right in the middle. So how much is that? So that's getting on for 15 centimeters. But I mean, that's not 15 centimeters on the ground. That's 15 centimeters that have fallen throughout the day. I mean, in reality, you'd expect to see less than that, because some of it will melt, some of it will get compressed, some of it will sublime, and so on. But 15 centimeters of fallen snow somewhere like Birmingham, and then of course over large parts of mid Wales as well.
That's right, and of course Birmingham is quite high up as well, so that explains why there's a little bit more there.
Yeah. So other models actually maybe shouldn't rely completely on the arome. This one is the 2-kilometer wharf model, which I think is just about finished. But the pattern should be pretty much the same. Okay, so again, this one has the snow boundary slightly further north. We can see it at about 5 o'clock in the morning. It's sort of turning to snow over the South Midlands, and then it kind of...
Is that a little bit slower bringing the snow up?
Yeah, it does. It does almost seem like
it's a little bit slower, isn't it?
Hmm.
By the other model, the arome, it was almost getting to the Midlands by 3 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it? That's a little bit slower, but I don't suppose it makes much difference, really.
But the wharf is also doing this thing where it brings the snow back into Devon throughout the afternoon. This almost looks like it could be convective snow of some description, because it looks quite heavy there.
Yeah, so maybe it's going to pep up a little bit, you know, kind of fizzle away for a while and then pep up a bit.
And another thing that the arome does is it also the wharf does is it also shows like London with initially snow, then sort of rain, and then it doesn't do it as many times as the arome. It's turned back to snow again, but it still has this whole rain to snow thing going on, and particularly North London. And it also has this thing where there's snow initially in East Anglia, which then turns to rain later as we get this easterly wind.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same kind of pattern, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's very similar, really, with the way we've got the significant snow through Wales and the Midlands, and then further south, it's more of a wintry mix at times. Again, really significant snowfalls for Wales and the Midlands.
Yeah, particularly sort of central parts of Wales. I mean, into the Birmingham area once again as well.
West Midlands, of course, they've already got quite a bit of snow. Some parts of the North and West Midlands from the snow showers yesterday. So. Yeah,
this is you can see this one is not just a sort of fallen snow. This is actually looking at snow depth. You can see this is how much snow we've got to begin with, and this will be massively over initialized. So I wouldn't read too much into the values, but it's suggesting sort of total snow accumulations, you know, getting on for 10-15 centimeters. And like I say, that's probably an exaggeration.
I would expect where I am something like 5 to 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the Met Office is going for, are they going for 5 to 10 centimeters in the amber area and more than that over higher ground?
Yeah, I think they're going for 20 centimeters at the maximum.
Yeah, I mean, you can see these sorts of red areas over the hills where presumably that's where the heavier.
Yeah, and those are the areas that I assume they're talking about might get cut off from the snow. But of course, it won't be like that in towns and city centres.
No.
But it will still be a major sort of snowfall. It'll be a very significant event, particularly as we haven't really had any snow in these areas. A proper snow event. We've not really had it since March 2013. So it's been a long, long time that we've seen this sort of depth of snow in these areas. So that's, I suppose, is also why it's quite significant.
Yeah, exactly. There's another model here. This one's the one that updates every 3 hours rather than. Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, I don't. This is the 12Z. We might actually. Might be worth checking this at the end of the broadcast, sort of in about an hour's time, just to see if we can get the 3Z, the 15Z.
The rain also looks quite. We haven't mentioned the rain, but the rain does look quite significant to the southwest. That's really heavy rain as well.
Yeah,
down there. So,
Cornwall.
Yeah, that's really significant wet weather as well as the snow. We shouldn't underestimate the rain that's going to be associated with this.
I mean, this one once again actually has the snow over London, and again with the southern part of London seeing rain and the northern part of London seeing snow. Has this been mentioned yet?
I don't think so, but I think what's happened is that these latest runs have trended. This morning's runs trended this snow area a little bit south, and I think tonight's runs, it's anecdotal, I've not got any evidence, but I think tonight's runs have trended this a bit more south as well. I think that's what's happened.
Okay. I mean, it's going for a similar pattern, isn't it? With there's the we also get this thing where the snow tries to come back a little bit further south towards the sort of Devon, South Wales part of the afternoon. Can we accumulate on here? We can. Oh, here we go. This is the yeah. So I mean, it's basically the same kind of pattern, isn't it?
Very much so. It looks like it's pretty much nailed on for those central parts of England and Wales. The only thing that could go wrong is if it was trended quite a lot further south, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, this one has taken the snow quite far southwest, sort of during the evening, into Sunday night. So, I honestly think Devon could see some snow tomorrow evening.
Does look like it, and also other parts of sort of the Bristol area as well might get some quite substantial snow
during the afternoon. Yeah. Again, we see this quite sharp dividing line between South London and North London. Similar sort of pictures being shown here.
That's right. It looks like London is the divide between snow and rain, doesn't it?
This one seems to have gone for more snow in sort of East Anglia. I'm not so sure about that. I think the easterly wind pulling off the sea is going to turn that more to rain.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
I imagine there's wet snow here, but maybe
that's what the other models were suggesting.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends whether the easterly is coming from off the continent as well, because there might be some colder dew points mixing in with that. If it's fetching from off the Low Countries, might be enough to offset the warmer sea.
We can kind of we can see the sort of general picture then. I mean, again, it's initially snow, which I think is because the winds are quite light and the winds are sort of coming from the land. But then, as we go slightly further on, to sort of this point, which is sort of 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the winds are now more coming off the sea.
That's right.
I mean, particularly here, you can see in Lincolnshire that it's turning a bit to rain.
Yeah, a little bit sleety there, isn't it? And also beginning to die out at that point. Well, not die out, but get lighter through Wales and the Midlands as well.
I think This is, I mean, this kind of thing is weird, isn't it? Where we have sort of a secondary low that sort of develops and keeps the precipitation quite intense for the sort of Sunday night, and this sort of area of snow.
That's right. It does look as though this could pep up a little bit
Hmm.
in the southwest, doesn't it, on Sunday evening?
Yeah, I mean, places like Cardiff and Exeter, maybe even Penzance. Okay, maybe not Penzance, but maybe Plymouth. These sorts of places that will initially see rain, but then sort of through the afternoon into the evening, could see a little bit of snow here. That could sort of be.
It will be determined, I think, there by the intensity of the precipitation. Probably if it's just light drizzly stuff, then it may not do the conversion. But if it does pep up, then it does look like there's potential there for quite heavy snowfalls.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So I'm looking at the time now, and it's getting on for past. So maybe we should do some questions and then.
Okay, so I'll go and have a look at Gaz whether it's see that. Yeah.
I'll have a quick look on the YouTube thing. There's a lot of comments.
Antonio is saying that West Yorkshire is forecast to get light snow.
Well, I would, yeah. I'm not sure. I think if Yorkshire gets any snow, it'll be only in the real southern part of Yorkshire. I just don't think the energy is going to get far enough north.
No, that's definitely how it looked, wasn't it?
And of course, even if it does get far enough north, one part of the problem is that the winds will be easterly in Yorkshire, and there won't since the precipitation isn't heavy, you're not really going to get that evaporative cooling. So the precipitation could be even sleety. You get this interesting situation sometimes where you get rain in the south, then snow sort of in the middle bit, and then sort of rain again and I don't think this is going to happen because it is a lot colder in the north this time. But sometimes you get rain, snow, rain, and the rain in the north in the colder part because there's not an evaporative cooling effect happening there. But
right.
I think the gist is that Yorkshire's a little bit too far north for it, maybe.
Neil is asking, afternoon Gav, yesterday I was lucky and had a big dumping of snow. What caused me to have so much? Normally I get little compared to more elevated hilly areas. Can't remember this happening before in my lifetime in Neil's area. I think Neil is somewhere in the Black Country. So just purely luck, I suppose. Neil has found himself in a very lucky position where there was a continuous stream of snow showers, and I think that's the only way you can explain it, really. That Neil just got very, very lucky.
Is this the Cheshire Gap we're talking about?
Yeah, I would assume that these showers came down the Cheshire Gap, but Neil's point is that normally in his area he wouldn't get snow from the Cheshire Gap. So
okay.
There must have been some other kind of local streamer type thing set up, I would think. So Neil was just very, very lucky. Andreas has asked. Andreas asked, why does the London area not get snow from northerly winds usually? So normally you get this situation with northerly winds that the south tends not to get many snow showers because it's sheltered from the north wind, really. I suppose that the hills and mountains of northern England and Wales tends to take the snow in the North Midlands, and so the snow doesn't really push down into the south and the southeast. So usually for sort of London, unless you've got some sort of situation like we've got at the moment with an area of low pressure, usually you'll need some sort of a trough to bring the snow showers through from the north if there's no sort of northeasterly component to the wind off the sea.
I can go and do some YouTube ones if you want.
Okay.
Do you think it's going to snow in Hertfordshire tomorrow morning, or is it more likely to be heavy rain? So where's Hertfordshire? Is it sort of in this kind of area? Oh, yeah.
So with that, I think that's in the dividing area, isn't it? Really, between.
Are we somewhere over here then?
Yeah, Herefordshire would be down in the southwest Midlands. So it's kind of on the border, really, I suppose, between the rain in the southwest and the snow further north into the Midlands. So there may be some snow in Herefordshire.
So sort of this area, maybe.
Yeah, sort of Gloucester, that sort of area.
I mean, sort of. I mean, if you're north of the Bristol Channel, then maybe some snow. I think there may be some rain, but there's likely to be some snow as well. I think you'll probably see both, and even possibly some accumulations later on in the afternoon.
And then probably going back to rain again later on, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should expect a mix. Yeah.
Probably going back to snow later on, and then sort of in the evening time.
Yeah.
But Tom's asking, will Bolton get snow?
Where's Bolton? That's in the northwest type area.
Northwest, yeah. So they're going to be touch and go whether it's going to get that far.
That north. Kind of up here somewhere. Oh, I don't know. Can I search on this somewhere?
Yeah, Bolton. It's in the northwest. Oh. So again, that's going to be touch and go whether the snow is going to get.
Here we go. There's Bolton. Yeah, that's probably slightly too far north. I would have thought.
A little bit too far north, I think, really.
Yeah, but might see a few snowflakes in the wind. Might see a little bit.
I'm just seeing on Twitter about heavy snow showers are already into Bolton anyway tonight. So it's Greater Manchester, and they're already having heavy snow showers there anyway.
Mm. Yeah, because the wind was more westerly today than northwesterly, so the showers were getting a little bit further inland.
Shazad on Twitter is asking how much snow is likely in Coventry.
So that's near Warwick, isn't it? I know roughly where that is. That's somewhere. I'll just type it in, just to save a bit of time. Coventry. Oh, Coventry's going to get loads of snow tomorrow.
Plenty of snow for Coventry.
Without doubt that Coventry's going to get plastered.
That's one of the places that's in pole position. That's a real snow event there.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Coventry, without doubt, is going to get a lot of snow tomorrow.
10 centimeters.
Well, maybe not 10 centimeters, but I'd say definitely at least 5. I'm a bit skeptical because the accumulation maps were going for 10, but they always overestimate. So
5 to 10.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, will Lincoln get snow?
Lincoln is up here, isn't it? Lincoln's sort of it's close to the edge of the snowband, isn't it?
That's right. It's going to be touch and go whether it gets to there.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 problems with Lincoln. First of all, it's right on the edge of the border. I mean, I think it will be just about into the precipitation, maybe just about, but it won't be heavy. And as we get this easterly wind later, it's going to turn sleety anyway. So Lincoln should expect to see sleety, wet snow at times tomorrow. It's going to be a miserable day, probably cloudy, cold, possibly even quite breezy, but nothing really seasonal, I wouldn't say.
It will be nasty. Yeah. Dave at the Weather Outlook is asking, do the models, specifically those showing rain, snowfall areas and amounts, take into account of height when displayed on the maps of the UK?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think so. And also in David's backyard, given the large thermal gradient in play tomorrow and my location, which is in Gloucestershire, I think, and my location, how much of a contributing factor as normal with regards to receiving lots of snow? So he's asking how much will his altitude factor into receiving plenty of snow tomorrow.
He's north of that line anyway, isn't he?
That's right. He's 292 meters above sea level. So
okay. I mean the altitude will for places that are significantly north of that line and don't really need to worry about there being any rain. The only thing that altitude will do is if you're somewhere with a bit of height in sort of central Wales, I don't know, like this village here, Newton or Welshpool or somewhere like that, then you would expect to see even more snow than places generally lower down. So I mean, somewhere like Welshpool, 20 centimeters, I could easily see somewhere like that getting.
So also where Outlook Beast from the East is asking, will we get a Scandinavian high later this month? So
few signals for it, aren't there? But
so that's the question. There have been a few signals that as we get towards Christmas and beyond, might see, excuse me, a bit of pressure rising over Scandinavia. But I think there's not enough evidence really to say that that's going to happen. But certainly the GFS extended range has been playing with that sort of idea for a little while.
yeah, I mean, it's going to stay cold for the next week at least. I think Wednesday is going to be the mildest day, and it's not really going to be mild. It's still going to be cold, especially in the north.
Yeah, that's right. I think we're going to build high pressure through next week, the end of next week and into next weekend. So that will probably keep the cold weather going. I mean, it's the question of the run up to Christmas where it turns milder then.
Yeah, I think it's too far to say. I mean, I can easily see a situation where the Atlantic comes back in after next weekend and we turn it milder. But equally, there could be a situation where the high pressure just sticks around and we get these sorts of cold, settled conditions. I mean, if there's a lot of snow cover, which there will be after tomorrow, and you get high pressure and light winds, then there's not really anything at this time of year to warm the situation up. So it'll just stay cold. If we're not getting air masses from the Atlantic, then it's not going to really warm up that much.
That's right. You need the Atlantic to stir up the atmosphere. So if we're just under high pressure after this cold weather, then it will just be cold and dry and frosty. It can get very cold actually in that kind of situation. Really hard frost.
I mean, I honestly don't think it's going to turn that mild at all this week. I mean, I think every single day this week we're still going to see frost, at least in some parts of the UK. Maybe on Wednesday we'll only be seeing frost in Scotland.
Wednesday looks a little bit less cold.
Less cold, but for someone's perspective, in sort of northern England, it's still 2 or 3 degrees below average for the time of year. So it's by no means mild.
That's right.
As the sort of day where you get 5 or 6 is the maximum, I wouldn't really describe as a mild day.
David Brown is on Facebook. Is asking whether they'll be snow in Luton.
Luton, that's London, isn't it?
Yeah, North London. So
we've been talking a lot about North London, haven't we? Luton is quite far to the north, isn't it, of London?
And it's quite high up as well, isn't it?
I'd say yes. I'd say that the conditions are quite favourable for snow in Luton tomorrow, and it's also not too far east either, where the sort of sleetiness will. I mean, I don't think Luton will see as much snow as places further west that get the really intense stuff, but I think Luton will see a couple of centimetres at least tomorrow. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, I would think so. Adam Collins is asking about Peterborough. How much snow do you think in Peterborough?
That's somewhere up here, isn't it? Oh, here we are, Peterborough. So that's quite far east, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to be heavy snow there in the morning, I would think, but it may turn a little bit sleety in the afternoon. But there should be plenty of snow, I would have thought there.
Yeah, I mean, 2 or 3 centimetres of fallen snow in the morning, but then maybe during the afternoon, just sort of light sleetiness. It's going to die away, I imagine, quite quickly from somewhere like Peterborough. So it's only going to snow for a few hours there. But when it does snow, it'll probably be, a couple of centimetres, I'd have thought. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would think so. Maybe up to 5. It depends.
Maybe in the higher parts, maybe.
Depends how heavy the precipitation is in the morning. Dean Johns is asking about South Wales.
South Wales, well.
I'm not got a specific area, just South Wales. So
I mean, if we're talking Cardiff, then I think we'll see both rain and snow tomorrow. We'll see sort of rain initially, maybe with some wet snow sort of mixing in from time to time. And then during the afternoon, we'll see the rain turning to snow.
That's right.
But if we're talking somewhere like, I don't know, if we're talking somewhere like, it's all little villages in Wales, isn't it? But if we're talking somewhere even slightly further north than the Brecon Beacons, anywhere that's still South Wales, but is not directly on the. I mean, Swansea's still on the coast, but sort of anywhere kind of to the north of that line. Anywhere to the north of that line won't see rain at all. I don't think. They'll just see snow.
looks like it'll be heavy snow in that area, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'd say definitely anywhere to the north of that line is going to see snow. Anywhere to the south of that line will see snow, except maybe that area, which is also possibly too far west. But certainly this area will see snow, but maybe they'll also see rain as well.
Chris RMS is asking about snow in Pembrokeshire on Sunday evening. So we've established that there could well be a switch back to snow for parts of South Wales and southwestern England, perhaps on Sunday evening. So yeah, it's not out of the question that that could happen.
I think somewhere like this, we'll see some snow tomorrow, but just maybe not a huge amount of accumulating stuff. It's quite close to the coast, isn't it?
It will depend greatly on the intensity of the precipitation, I think.
And I think this is sort of a little bit out of where the heaviest stuff is. But I definitely think that we'll see some snow tomorrow, just not maybe a huge amount.
So the question about Herefordshire, it was Hertfordshire.
Oh, okay.
I think Hertfordshire is down in the south somewhere. So for there, it's likely to be mainly rain, I think, actually.
Do you know how you spell that?
Hertfordshire. It's Nigel who's asked this.
There we go. Well, that's still to the north of the main snow line, isn't it? Same as kind of Luton, really.
Yeah, that might be okay, actually.
Yeah, I definitely think you'll see some snow tomorrow.
Nigel should get a bit of snow there tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe
Nigel.
Maybe a few centimeters, something like that.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, it's again, it looks like it's probably fairly elevated area as well. So that's going to help.
I think sort of somewhere. I think maybe Hertfordshire might occasionally see some sleet as well. I'd say mostly so. Maybe 80-90% snow, 10% sleet or rain. Mostly snow, I would have thought, in Hertfordshire.
So a few more questions on Gav. So this Jeff is asking about Toaster, somewhere not that far away from me. Toaster A43. Looks like
Toaster is in the thing that
Toaster, yeah, in South Northamptonshire.
Is in like the bread thing.
It's TOWCESTER. It's in South Northampton.
Oh, there we go.
So it looks pretty good there, I would have thought, for some snow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely good. Probably 4, 5, 6 centimeters there.
Yeah, I think so. It's just down the road from me, so there'll definitely be some snow there, I think. Paul B has just asked, hi Gav and Quantum, I am getting conflicting information from the models regarding the upcoming snow event Sunday and Monday. I'm seeing heavy rain and sometimes heavy snow from the precipitation charts. So I'm not sure where Paul is though, but I assume he must be on that sort of divide that we've established is sort of in southern parts of England. So that would be why that's happening, I think.
I mean, I think if we look at the Euro 4, which is what it's not the one that the Met Office use, but it's basically as close as we can get to the one that they use. I mean, the dividing line is still pretty consistent throughout all the models in terms of sort of London and sort of the Brecon Beacons over South Wales and sort of the Bristol area sort of being the dividing line between the rain and the snow.
That's right. So I would assume Paul must be on that dividing line, and that's why.
I mean, anywhere on this line here, we'll see snow tomorrow. It just won't necessarily be first thing in the morning, and they will also see some rain. So if you live on this divide, you should expect to see snow tomorrow. You just shouldn't expect to necessarily see it the whole time.
So I'm looking for a few more questions. Let's see if there's anything on Twitter.
I'll have a look at the YouTube. There's a lot of questions. Do you think it'll snow in Newcastle? Absolutely not. It's too far north. Let's have a look. How much we've covered Coventry. I think there's going to be a lot there. West Wales. It depends what part of West Wales. Apart from the extreme southern coast, Wales is going to get a lot of snow tomorrow, and you at 200 meters altitude, so you should expect to see quite a lot of snow. Oldbury, that's somewhere in the West Midlands, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Where was that? Sorry.
Oldbury. I'm not exactly sure where that. I thought that was in the West Midlands somewhere. Have a look. Oh yeah, loads of snow. You should get at least 5 centimeters of snow.
That's pole position area.
Yeah, you're one of the best places to get snow. So expect about 5 centimeters, if not slightly more than that. How much snow will there be in Birmingham? A lot. Expect, apart from maybe the central parts of Birmingham, which is always going to be difficult to get snow settling in the city centre, but expect a lot of snow in Birmingham. We've covered the southern extent a lot. Could seaside see snow? No, the conditions aren't preferable for sort of snow showers tomorrow. The wind shear the directional shear is too high. You generally need sort of a consistent feed from the North Sea without any significant twists in the isobars. We've got low pressure that's sort of circulating over with an upper level low that's displaced to the north. So the wind at the upper levels is westerly and the wind at the lower levels is easterly. That kind of condition, that kind of situation where the winds change with height is not really that good for showers. You want them to change to some degree, because if they don't change at all, then the downdrafts and the updrafts cancel each other out and the showers die. But you don't want the wind shear to be too high. So there's not going to be any. There will be snow showers in Scotland, the north of Scotland tomorrow, but I don't think there'll be any in Seaside. Chance of snow in Leeds, yeah, again right on the northern extent of it. Not really that great. Nottingham. Now Nottingham is sort of. I think Nottingham will see snow. Don't you agree?
Yeah, Nottingham will do okay.
Yeah, maybe not as well as some places slightly further south, but I think Nottingham could see a few centimeters.
Yeah, I think so. There'll be a significant covering at Nottingham, I would have thought.
Let's have a look. Northern England. Well, we've discussed Northern England. I don't think it's particularly good. Leeds again. I think it's sort of a little bit too far north. I'd expect maybe to see a few snowflakes in the wind, but it's not going to really impress anyone, unless all the models are wrong about the northern extent of it. I mean, that does sometimes happen. So if the northern extent is wrong, then I wouldn't have thought that's likely to happen. Would you?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No. Matthew is on Facebook is asking, excuse me, could he get 10 centimeters for his daughter Ellie in Coventry tomorrow?
Coventry is definitely well placed, isn't it?
Coventry is very well placed. It may not get up to 10 centimeters, but certainly there'll be a decent covering for Matthew and Ellie in Coventry tomorrow.
I think we can promise you 5. 10 centimeters. It's going to be quite difficult to get 10 centimeters. I think some of the higher parts of Wales will see 10 centimeters, but I think 5 is more realistic. But you will get a lot of snow tomorrow. You're definitely well placed to see it. Much more well placed than a lot of other places. So
definitely. Paul Stanger on Twitter is asking, "Hi chaps, Basingstoke took the brunt of the famous 2010 dumping before Xmas 2010. Any chance of a covering there by the end of Monday?"
So where are we? Oh, this is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just on that divide again, isn't it? So,
I'd say maybe a little bit to the south of the divide.
Might be. So
the divide. I think the divide is sort of northern 2/3 of London. So the divide is sort of here, so that the northern half of London gets it, the southern half doesn't.
I would say mainly rain, but possibly something wintry in the evening on Sunday.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think, and also unfortunately, it seems that most of the energy of the front is going to be concentrated over South Wales and maybe even Devon. Right. So what I would say is mostly rain, maybe 80-90% rain, 10-20% snow. Sort of just when the precipitation is really heavy, you might expect to see a few flakes getting down to low levels. And then maybe in the evening, a couple of sleety flakes of snow as well. But don't expect accumulations.
Definitely not a 2010 style dumping, though.
No, you shouldn't expect accumulations with this.
No. Nathan is asking on Twitter, snow showers coming off the North Sea to Teesside Sunday evening. We've not really looked at that, have we?
I mean, I'd be surprised if there are any snow showers tomorrow evening, actually. The wind shear just seems to be too high. So this is, we're going into Monday now. And it's going for, there's a little bit of stuff here, isn't there? Let's have a look at the, let's have a look at the wharf. My gut instinct is no, but I'm happy to be proved wrong over this. I don't really see anything, to be honest. I think the wind shear is too high for snow showers tomorrow afternoon in that sort of area. And even if there are showers, can we have a look at? Let's have a look at the. No, this is the best we can get. Okay, I suppose it's still quite cool, isn't it? But
it's cold enough, but I don't think there's going to be much coming off the sea there.
I think again, northern Scotland will still see wintry showers.
Yeah, northern and west Scotland will get,
and also potentially even Northern Ireland as well, because as we get this sort of northerly feed during Sunday night, Northern Ireland I think could see some. Maybe possibly during we could get back to Monday, can't we? We've got maybe 20 minutes to talk about Monday. But Sunday night, I doubt we'll see much in the way of snow showers. Oxfordshire, this kind of area. Yeah, I mean Oxfordshire's sort of just about north of the line, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What would you say there?
So I think there should be something going through there.
Maybe a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow then in Oxfordshire. Would you say that?
Yeah, possibly more towards snow. You're going to depend on outlying areas, and I would think mainly primarily snow, but probably rain maybe in the city centre.
Yeah, it's quite close to the Divine Line, isn't it? I mean, see, most of the models are kind of going Divine Line that kind of goes something like that.
It's almost through Oxford, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It will probably depend on intensity of precipitation, so that could produce a bit of evaporative cooling, and elevation may be important there as well. So places like the Cotswolds are probably going to get snow, but in the city itself, then probably rain or sleet.
I think it's a
very fine. It's a very, very fine line for that sort of part of the country.
I think you should expect to see both tomorrow. You should expect to see some rain or wet snow. I can see maybe a centimetre accumulation during the afternoon, because the cold air is expected to push down back south across during the afternoon, although it will be weakening at that point. So I can see a little bit of snow coming in sort of midday, early afternoon, possibly.
Yeah. And of course, the other factor is that this, I think, as we said, this snow area has been trended ever so slightly further south today from what it was showing yesterday. So if it was to be trended a little bit more further south as it actually happens, sometimes with these events, it is a little bit of a nowcasting sort of situation. You just have to look out the window, really, and see what's happening.
If it trends much further south, then it'll hit central London. Right. It doesn't need to trend much further south at all for it to hit the capital.
If it trends just a little bit further south, then places like London and Oxford will come into the firing line for some quite significant snowfalls. Indeed.
Seeing if there's anything else. Leeds, no, doesn't look like there will be much there.
So Ed1 at Gav and I is asking any snow for Bicester.
Bicester?
Yeah, or Bicester. So
how do you spell that?
Bicester. So it's just to the south of Northamptonshire.
Oh, you're a little bit further north than Oxford, aren't you? So of course you're more likely to see snow by the time we'll get to that far north.
That's right. It's between sort of Oxford and Northampton. So, yeah, I should think there should be some there. Probably not as much as further north into the Midlands, but
Probably mostly snow at this point, though, I would imagine.
there may be some snow for Bicester, I think.
Yeah, a couple of centimeters. I mean, the divine line between rain and snow looks like a really quite impressive gradient. So it could be, you know, there could only be a 10 or 20 miles in it, where if you're to the north of that boundary, you see quite a bit of snow, and if you're to the south, you see nothing.
So Stanny is asking, Gav, for Monday's storm across France and Spain, how far will it dig into the UK? I don't think that low pressure is going to get to the UK on Monday. I had a look at the models, but I don't think that low pressure from France to Spain will get to the UK on Monday.
We can have a look at it after we've taken these questions. I think one thing I would say about that is that the winds are going to be a lot stronger on Monday as well. And blowing off the sea, that's not great for snow potential. If the snow does fall, it's going to be a wet kind.
Yeah, I would think so. But the latest I saw that most of the excuse me, most of the models were trending that low pressure to the north of France. So I'm not sure we'll get too much from that on Monday.
But we'll definitely look into it for sort of southeastern parts. We can have a quick look at that after we finish these questions. South Somerset, someone asked about. Again, that's the Midlands, isn't it? Somerset, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not
down in the West Country.
Devon, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so that's one of those places that's going to see rain during the morning and then potentially a bit of snow during the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. So it's primarily rain down there, and then possibly some wintriness in the evening tomorrow.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Are there any more YouTube comments?
Just having another look at Twitter.
AccuWeather predicts a total of 20 centimetres in Birmingham. I mean, I don't think there'll be 20 centimetres in Birmingham, but
that will be based on the raw model output. But then you have to factor into account.
20 centimetres will probably fall in Birmingham, but there's no way that we'll see 20 centimetres of lying snow. But 10 centimetres, I can believe in Birmingham, especially the higher parts.
That's right. Yeah, I could see it getting up to 4 inches for Birmingham. Alex is asking about snow in Burnley, Lancashire.
Burnley,
yeah, in Lancashire.
Too far north, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're going to struggle to get the snow up to there.
We've been asked about the Republic of Ireland as well. And again, I mean, sort of this kind of area looks quite good. Yeah,
the Midlands of Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, looks really quite well positioned for some fairly significant snow.
Not as much as Wales, I wouldn't have thought, but, you know, a few centimetres there, definitely.
That's right, which I assume is probably quite unusual for that area.
I should probably just quickly check Dublin, actually, because I imagine a few people live in Dublin. Let's just quickly go on the room again. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Dublin's sort of more towards the coast, so it's seeing more of a mixture of rain and snow rather than just snow. But sort of anywhere significantly inland is gonna see some snow tomorrow in the Republic of Ireland.
Definitely, and it looks like it would be enough to produce a covering of snow. Those inland areas as well, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Yep. Let's see if there are any other questions. Worksop near Chesterfield. Let's have a look and see if we can. It's a bit far to the northeast, but I think they're still going to see some snow tomorrow.
Should be a bit, shouldn't there?
Should be a bit. Don't expect loads.
The Midlands zone.
Yeah, don't get overexcited. I think a couple of centimeters is probably what you should expect. Are there any others?
Alison on Twitter is asking North Lanarkshire.
Lanarkshire.
Wishaw.
What city is that?
North Lanarkshire, that would be up in Scotland, wouldn't it?
I don't. Yeah, well,
This area of snow is not going to get that far north at all.
no. I mean, Scotland will for the sort of northern part of Scotland, we could expect to see some more wintry showers.
I've also been asked about Crewe.
Is that in Ireland?
No, Crewe, South Cheshire, towards Wrexham. So again, I think it's going to be struggling to get the snow that far north, really.
I don't know. It's further west though, and I think since the band has sort of got this kind of shape, since it's sort of further to the west, I think it could do okay actually.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Again, quite touch and go. So.
I mean, it will be snow, but
definitely there's no problems with the temperature there.
I think the story for there is that maybe expect a little bit of snow, but not an awful lot.
The problem will be if there is one final push southwards with the snow area. If it's been trending southwards through the last 24 hours in terms of what the models are predicting, where they're predicting it to be. If it's trended any further south, then that will take that area completely out of it.
I mean, the GFS ensembles kind of show the northern edge to be about there, but you know, if you're on that line, you're not going to see that much snow. So I think you should, but as Gav said, if you don't want this trending even further south, then you're not going to see much at all if that happens. It could still trend north. It wouldn't have to trend that much further north. See, this is why I'm a little bit worried about it, because if it trends, north by even something like 20, 30 miles, that could be enough to bring them into quite a significant area of snow, actually.
That's right. I've also been asked about East Sussex on Sunday evening into Monday.
Sort of in London then?
Yeah, sort of South London.
South London. Well, again, I mean, I'd say expect mostly rain, but some snow as well. Mixture of rain and snow tomorrow. Mostly rain, but again, London, especially the northern part of London, had this whole rain to snow to rain to snow to rain to snow pretty much all day. So if you're in the centre of London, expect mostly rain, but with maybe some wet snow as well.
And we're being asked about Kent and Maidstone.
Too far south.
Too far south. Yeah, that's going to be rain, isn't it?
There's no ambiguity about Kent, I don't think. I mean, maybe during the evening we could see some sort of light snow moving in.
That's right. It does look as though there might be something wintry coming through in the evening. Yeah. Again, that will depend on the intensity, but it's not going to come to very much. I wouldn't have thought.
Don't expect it during the main part of the day, but maybe the odd wintry flurry during the evening. And even for more YouTube ones, I'm going to copy and paste this because I'm not exactly sure where that is. I don't think you're on the edge at all of seeing rain and snow. I think you'll see snow.
Where are we looking?
Here.
All right, yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's going to be okay.
Maybe he's worried about being too far towards the northern extent of it.
Might be, yeah. It probably won't be as much there as further down into the Midlands and sort of mid Wales, but there will be a
couple of centimetres, I would have thought.
There should be some snow there.
So maybe 2 centimetres, possibly. Don't know, that kind of area.
Yeah, I would think that sounds about right. Again, of course, if it was trending any further southwards, then would start getting a bit worrying for that area.
So this guy wants us to say what the most northern extent. I mean, we've covered the northern extent a lot. It's quite hard to exactly say. I mean, like I say, with the precipitations, you can see. we know that the northern extent is going to be somewhere in South Yorkshire, sort of area, and the sort of northern extent is it's more or less west to east, but slightly further to the north on the western side and slightly further to the south on that side. So sort of, this kind of area, but with the acknowledgement that this could trend a couple of miles north, a couple of miles south by tomorrow. So
that's right.
I think sort of areas in this kind of area here, we'll see some snow tomorrow, just not an impressive amount, and not really enough to lie on the ground. Just light snow, really, not anything impressive.
It'll be better down through much of Wales and the Midlands, I think, than that sort of area.
Exactly.
Any more questions at Gav's Weathervids?
Welsh pool. Oh, I used that as an example, didn't I, earlier? Didn't I? I used Welsh pool as an example of somewhere that might get loads of snow.
Yeah, that's right.
That's actually a coincidence that someone asked about it, because I gave that as an example of somewhere that's likely to see a lot of snow tomorrow. Expect 15, maybe even 16, 17, 18 centimeters of snow tomorrow, and somewhere like that. Expect a lot of snow.
Yeah, mid Wales is going to get a real dumping from this.
At least 15 centimeters, I would say, for somewhere like Welsh pool.
Possibly even up to 20 on sort of higher ground around that area.
Exactly.
Duncan is asking, will it ever turn mild? Still think we will see high pressure around Christmas time? So that is possible. The GFS extended output is certainly hinting at that, but of course is speculative. So we can't say that it will stay cold for Christmas, but certainly the GFS extended output has been hinting at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, just responding to this commenter here, I'm pretty sure it's not going to snow in Newcastle tomorrow. I might be wrong. I'm probably about 95% sure there won't be any snow in Newcastle tomorrow. Maybe the odd stray shower. I think that's the best that can be expected. Liverpool, again, you're on the northern edge of this, so and you're also quite close to the coast, which is not. I don't think it'll be rain, but it's not ideal location to be. Expect a little bit of snow. Don't expect a lot.
And then finally, for Gav's Weathervid, so Andy is asking, do we think there'll be more shots from the north this winter? More cold shots from the north? And
there's going to be a northerly at the end of this week. It's not going to be a particularly impressive one, but it depends what you're really looking for. If you're looking,
I think the way the atmosphere is setting up this early winter, then we can probably expect more cold northerly winds, at least sort of into early to mid-January, and then things might change to something milder later in the winter. But I think for the next month, we should be watching out for more cold northerly shots at times. Maybe if the high pressure was to get building over Scandinavia, something from the east.
That's definitely a possibility. Do you think the schools could be shut down in Birmingham? Yes, potentially. I think schools could be closed in Birmingham tomorrow. It's worth planning for that.
On Monday.
Yeah.
Sunday tomorrow.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, of course. There's no schools on Sunday, are there?
No, but certainly Monday there might be some disruptive to school.
I mean, there's going to be snow on the ground, isn't there? But I mean, our schools usually closed because of snow on the ground. I mean,
well, they didn't very often when I was younger, but I think they do close more now. So
I think maybe less likely then, because of course the snow will be cleared by then. Higher routes, though. I mean, for these Welsh villages, I think could see school closed for significantly more than a day, maybe even into the middle part of next week. Will it snow in West Wales in the? I don't know what this is, so I'm just going to copy and paste it into the map. West Wales. I don't know where that is, but again, if you don't want to be too far west, central parts of Wales we'll see them under the snow. What else? Will the snow affect the football at Liverpool and Manchester? Again, you're on the northern extent of the snow. I think it's more likely that there will be a little bit, but nothing too disruptive there. What about Sutton? I don't know. I'll just copy and paste that in. I've lost it now. Herman Pembrokeshire, let's put that in. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, some snow there. I would expect a couple of centimetres. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's okay, but again, it's a little bit to the west, so it's not going to be as much as further inland across sort of mid and North Wales, but I think that could be a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of centimetres maybe. You are north of the rain snow line, so you should expect to see some snow tomorrow. What at Taunton? Yeah, not easy to remember all these little places, so don't blame us too much for that. Yeah, this is Devon, isn't it? So again, we'd expect to see maybe a little bit of snow during the afternoon and evening there, but nothing too disruptive.
No, the main rain, snow tonight and tomorrow morning for there, that's going to be rain.
Indeed.
And then maybe something a bit wintry tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening.
If it's unexpected, I suppose it could be disruptive. I mean, expect some snow during the evening in that sort of area, but don't get too disappointed if there isn't much.
That's right.
So, well, that's sort of East Anglia, isn't it? Sort of area, southeast England.
Yeah, I think there'll be a little bit there.
A little bit, maybe a little bit during the morning, but then sort of very rapidly turning to rain during the sort of middle part of the morning into the afternoon. So sort of snow to rain event there, I'd imagine. Any snow in West London? I mean, we've covered London quite a lot. So London's going to be the dividing line between the rain and the snow, probably. So if you're in the northern part of London, maybe you are likely to see some snow, but don't necessarily expect it to accumulate a lot. Oh, is that all the questions?
I think that's taken most of the questions for the time being. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I've answered a lot of questions there.
I mean, I thought maybe for the last quarter of an hour we can maybe I might have a quick look at some of these Twitter comments as well, just before we close up. But for the next few minutes, maybe look at the outlook. Are we a bit too sort of early for the ECM?
I think certainly for up to Monday, the ECM should be out by now.
Oh, we can get the first few hours of it. Actually, we can. This is going to throw a curveball if it turns out that this is predicting something very different. I might just very briefly look at, since the ECM has started to come out, this is the 12Z. The time is CDT, so don't look at the time too literally. Hopefully, this is going to say something similar to what everything else has said. So that's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, it's very similar to what we said earlier, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it's roughly in the same sort of area.
And then we can see that there's still this area of winteriness sort of during the evening into. It really does stick around for quite a long time, doesn't it? On the ECM, and then this is the area of potential through Monday. Yeah, I mean, I won't. It seems like it's going to graze the far southeast on Monday. Nothing to be sort of too worried about there. A little bit of snow, but probably not accumulating.
No, that's mainly looking like rain and little bits of wintriness, isn't it?
Exactly. So I think that's about as far as we can go, isn't it? But we can look at the. Let's quickly see if the. Oh, it has. This is the 15Z. So we can have a quick look and see if this has changed at all. If it's gone further north or further.
How often does this model update?
Every 3 hours.
I don't know how people can find the time to see models updating every 3 hours. That really is living on the models, isn't it?
Broadly similar. I think maybe the snow rain line is slightly further north on this one. Also, there's more of an emphasis towards the East Midlands on this one as well. More snow towards the east.
it's not pulling in as much cold air off the North Sea, is it? Milder air.
Yeah.
North Sea.
And we still have this area of snow that's trying to come further south during the end of the day, but yeah, it's not too dissimilar to what we've seen, is it really?
No, I think the models are broadly sort of converged on the idea of what's happening with this. It's just going to depend whether, when it actually occurs, something unexpected happens, such as there's a shunt a little bit north or a little bit south, because that can happen sometimes. But something unexpected happens. But in terms of the model output, I think they're all pretty much sort of aligned now about where they think this is going to be tonight and tomorrow.
So for the rest of the week, this is quite good because it gives you it gives you a very quick view of the situations. This is equivalent potential temperature at the 850 level, and the isobars, of course, and this is quite good because it tells you basically where the air masses are. So the blues and purples, that's cold, dry air. The oranges, that's warm, moist air. So we can see that through tomorrow, we've got this mild air mass that just grazes the south, and you can see this dividing line here between the cold, dry air to the north and the moist air to the south, and that's what's going to give us the snow sort of situation tomorrow, and then into Sunday evening and into Monday, we've got some of this snow sort of still across southern parts of Wales, maybe into Devon as well. And then this is the low pressure that's on Monday that you mentioned was going to graze through France, sort of the Low Countries.
That's right. That's a near miss, isn't it? So
probably a little bit of snow, but
probably a little bit of rain or sleety stuff to the far south and southeast. But I don't think that's going to do anything particularly significant. Famous last words.
I would agree. It's going to get out of the way pretty quickly. I'd expect to see some snow on that, but just nothing too impressive. And then as you can see, so this is Tuesday. You can see that Tuesday the UK is still under the colder air mass, and of course with the winds falling light, this is still going to be a very cold day.
Yeah, there's going to be some really hard frosts, I think. Sort of Monday night into Tuesday could be really severe frost over snow cover.
I would agree with that. And then this is through Tuesday night. Initially, the models were suggesting that there might be some snow on the leading edge of this, but it's now looking like this is more unlikely, apart from maybe over Scotland or maybe over the hills of Scotland. It's possible, actually, since the ground is so cold at this point, we might even see a little bit of freezing rain on this. So that's something to... I don't think this is going to be disruptive, but there's a small possibility we could see a little bit of freezing rain on Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. I think snow mainly over sort of Pennines, perhaps, and Scottish mountains, but mostly rain. Of course, that will quickly get rid of the snow that will be lying on the ground.
But yeah, well, I'm not sure because this. I mean, firstly, it comes through during the night when it tends to not be that mild anyway, and it clears off pretty quickly. So by the time we get to Wednesday, we've got this cold feed coming back into the UK.
Oh, it very quickly comes back on Wednesday.
So it could be. I think it's freeze thaw type conditions. I think the snow is going to melt during Tuesday night into Wednesday, but then Wednesday night it's all going to freeze again. So we're going to see a lot of ice by the time we get into sort of Thursday morning, just from the snow sort of thawing and then refreezing on Wednesday night.
That's right. It could be quite treacherous, and it's interesting that the cold air is quickly coming back behind that.
It is. And it's certainly not mild. So I mean, if we look at sort of Thursday is cold, and then it's slightly milder for sort of Tuesday night. But then once we go sort of into Thursday, we've got this cold air sort of coming back across the country.
Yeah, it definitely cools down again in the second half of the week.
It's not going to be as frigidly cold as it is tomorrow and Monday, but it's definitely cold on Thursday, and then you can see sort of Thursday we're in this chilly northwesterly, and I imagine that it'll be a little bit colder than the sort of upper level temperatures suggest because of that snow coat. The snow coat will cool the lower atmosphere down a little bit.
That's right. Winds tilting back into the north there again.
Yeah, and you can see that sort of by the time we get to Friday, we're starting to import some really quite cold air from the north. So Friday's going to be really cold, I think.
That's right, going back into another northerly sort of Arctic air mass.
And then Saturday, actually, we can probably get better temperatures. But I mean, by sort of Saturday, which is so this is sort of Friday midday, 2s, 3s, not mild at all. And then by the time we get into Saturday, I mean, it's not mild at all. It's well below average, and when it does get above freezing, it only does for a couple of hours. So
that's right. It looks cold, doesn't it?
Definitely looks cold,
particularly for the north. Talking about ice days potentially. So,
I would agree that. I mean, I think there will be a few ice days, particularly in the north. But yeah, it looks like it's going to definitely stay cold for most this week, and then sort of Saturday. So by the time we get into Sunday, this is just totally stagnant. I mean, I think Sunday could even be colder because the air is just completely stagnated over the UK.
It looks like it's trying to get the ridge up to Scandinavia as well, didn't it?
Let's have a look at Sunday. So that's Saturday. That's Sunday. So Sunday is even colder because the air's just completely stagnated. So Sunday could be a nice day. I mean, I was actually surprised when I saw the BBC long range forecast saying that it was going to turn milder. I don't think there's any evidence of that at all. I think briefly milder during Tuesday night into Wednesday, but not mild. It's still going to be below average. And then next Sunday we've got the possibility of another ice day. It looks very cold to me.
Really, really cold next weekend, if that's right. It looks like the GFS was trying to take the high pressure to Scandinavia as well, I thought, next weekend.
Let's have a quick look at that then. Yeah, I mean, it does indeed seem like it's trying to do that. So we've got these easterly winds starting to move into the Low Countries. I mean, it's not quite managed. It hasn't quite managed it, but it's sort of the indication is that we are trying to sort of bring in colder air from the east.
The hint is there, isn't it? But running up to Christmas, it's either going to try and revert back to a westerly and bring the mild air in for Christmas, or it is trying to have a go at getting that high pressure up to Scandinavia and bringing some easterlies. So Christmas is still a very much touch and go, I would have thought, which way it's going to go, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I think at this stage, it's really not possible to say. I think all we can really say is that it's going to stay cold for at least the next week. But maybe snow, maybe not that much snow. At least after Sunday snow is out of the way, I don't think there's going to be much snow really during the week.
No, we're not signing much snow up to day 10 anyway.
But very cold. I mean, it's going to be a really cold week. It's just not going to be a particularly snowy one. So I mean, the ECM's updated a little bit. I mean, again, this is Thursday. I mean, the upper air temperatures aren't that cold, but the thing to keep in mind is that they've been below zero the whole time, and it's about consistency as much as anything else. When the upper air temperatures are consistently below zero, the lower atmosphere can't. There's nothing to warm it up really. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Just having one last look at questions at Gav's Levy. So Andy is asking, we have a green or a white Christmas. So we've already explained that it looks like Christmas is touch and go, really. And it's too early to say. But the hints are there that the GFS wants to take that high pressure to Scandinavia the week before Christmas. So if it does get the high pressure to Scandinavia and get wind into the east, then watch out.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think all we can really say at this point is that it's going to stay cold at least until next weekend.
Definitely.
I'll have a quick look. There's a lot of comments. It's quite hard to scroll through all of them. Cheltenham. That's somewhere in the sort of West Midlands, isn't it?
Yeah, South West Midlands.
Yeah.
Kind of near Gloucester and that area.
Yeah, I mean that's it's quite close to the rain snow line, isn't it? But I think it's just on the snow side of the line.
It's near the Cotswolds, so probably a bit of elevation might help a little bit. But again,
probably
it's
mostly
quite on the divide.
Yeah, probably mostly snow, I would say. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it from the YouTube. I might just quickly check. I've got quite a few Twitter comments. Any snow in Tipton, West Midlands? I don't know where Tipton is.
If it's West Midlands, then that's going to be in one of the prime positions. It's going to be.
It's just to the west of Birmingham. Fantastic place for snow tomorrow.
You're going to do fine there.
Yeah, you'll do fine. You look quite sort of urban, so I think that's maybe your biggest disadvantage. But 8 centimeters at the very least, I would have thought.
There'll definitely be a decent covering of snow there.
Yeah, sort of 5 to 10 centimeters is maybe not anything above 10, but 5 to 10 centimeters seems about right. So we've covered Basingstoke. Will Kent have snow? We've covered that. Probably not. Maybe a slight chance of some snow towards the evening. Suffolk. That's again in the southeast, isn't it?
Yeah. So again, not very well. Not very well primed for snow in that area.
Yeah. Which part? I suppose it depends which part, isn't it? Suffolk County. Yeah, I'd say snow initially during the morning, and then sort of doing. I mean, we can sort of divide the UK into a sort of a few different sections, sort of. About, I mean, this kind of area here, this kind of area here, you're going to see snow all day, and you're going to see quite a lot. This kind of area here, you're probably going to see mostly snow, but maybe some rain as well. In the northern part of this, you'll probably see quite a bit of snow. This part, mostly snow in the morning, but turning to rain during the afternoon. Sort of anywhere to the north of this line, sort of during this kind of area, probably not much in the way of snow, just of few flurries. And then kind of this area, going into Devon and maybe even to the sort of south, this kind of area, maybe some snow in the evening. That's how I would summarize it.
Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? So anywhere like in the very far southeast is mainly going to get rain until the evening, and then there could be some windiness. That will depend on the intensity of the precipitation at that point.
But definitely this kind of area here, you're going to have to bear the brunt of it. So this kind of area here, maybe some of them are suggesting that this could get a little bit further east as well. So maybe pushing into sort of the Cambridge area possibly. But this whole kind of area here is going to be good for snow.
That's right. We're talking about 5 to 10 centimeters in that area, sort of on lower ground. Perhaps a bit less in city centres. Even there, enough for a covering.
I would agree.
And then in higher rooted areas and rural areas, anything from sort of 10 to 15 centimetres is possible, which is a really significant snowfall, particularly, as we said, in light of the fact that we haven't had a situation like this since 2013. So it's been a long time coming for these areas, and it doesn't look like they're going to get it tomorrow and tonight.
I think the places that should be concerned about this the most are places that they'll have some elevation, are in central Wales or towards the Welsh border, or pushing into the West Midlands with a bit of elevation, and they're in sort of isolated communities, sort of more rural parts. These are the places that could potentially have real issues in terms of power cuts, school closures, even into next week, infrastructure possibly affected. So these sorts of areas that are in sort of rural parts with a bit of altitude, in this kind of area, you should be prepared to see some quite significant disruption. But yeah, I would agree. If you're in somewhere like Birmingham, you're going to be better off just because it's more urbanized.
That's right. I would agree.
Yeah, well, that's all the Twitter comments done. I think I've done pretty much all the comments there.
Yeah, I think all the comments are done on my side as well. We've answered a lot of comments tonight, so I hope everybody has enjoyed it, and I hope it's brought them up to date with the latest. And if you like snow and you live in those prime areas, then enjoy it.
Yep. And obviously be safe, and make sure you check out the official Met Office warnings as well, because this is all just for guidance. So make sure you look at the official warnings as well. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope that's been very informative, and feel free to leave any comments below, and or watch this video on demand. And thanks everyone for watching.